functions as DCL align with and uphold each of the core pillars of Kasama?
Well, I think the most important pillar to me is product social pillar, which comes with creating relationships, which is basically what DCL is. And I plan to do that by, most importantly, managing my relationships with all committee heads and board members. And that means making sure that everything I have to offer, making sure that I serve as assistants to whatever they need. As you know, my main job is to make sure we move together, and I think that's really important.
Along with needing to be organized and on top of potential events and dates, DCL must communicate a lot with departments such as EMGS to make the bookings, settle event needs, etc. In what ways have you approached this type of logistical event planning in a professional way?
I think being a part of the finance committee with Jeremiah, he's obviously done a lot for the finance committee, but I have taken a small role through planning and organizing some of the fundraisers, and I've been, even though I haven't really helped them with like planning or booking anything, I look forward to like working closely with him if we were elected to find out to effectively manage booking rooms. Yeah, I know I really don't have a lot of experience, but yeah.
When you're not actively working on projects, sometimes this role can feel monotonous with just booking rooms and managing logistics. How do you plan to use the role more beyond its job description?
Like I said before, the main thing I want to do is make sure that all committee members and board members are keeping track of all their objectives and make sure they're doing it efficiently. So really, I just want to make sure that whatever I do for them, in a sense. So shit.
Can you think of a time where you coordinated between multiple teams or managed a large-scale event where unforeseen challenges arose and how to respond to them?
The biggest example I can think of is probably in my leadership program, where we basically have to table an event to create change within USF. And basically what conflict that arose was we had two projects that were very similar, so what we had to do was compromise, and I think a big part of this role is being able to compromise and work with community heads. But I haven't really had the opportunity to plan on a larger scale, but I hope to learn and grow through this position, and I can use other members as a resource too.
So, as you said, you're a first year, and so this would be your first time running for Kasamahan E-Board. Why did you feel that DCL was the position for you and your first time running?
I feel that because I have the experience in the leadership program, which has taught me how to effectively navigate conflict and speak with others in an efficient manner, I felt that communications was the best position for me to run. So yeah.
Mojo, if you're in this position, how do you measure success within it?
That's a great question.
Oh, you want to say it? If given-
Yeah, sure.
If given this position, how do you measure your success?
Oh, I think I would measure my own success as through my fellow board members or community members to see how much I've helped them in a sense, and if I make their job easier, then I feel like my job has been done well.
As you know, DCL is part of Cabinet. How can you apply your personal experiences in Kasamahan to settle conflicts and hard decisions involving the organization, as well as any conflicts involving events within board?
Sorry.
So, DCL is part of Cabinet. How can you apply your personal experiences in Kasamahan to settle conflicts and hard decisions involving the organization, as well as any conflicts that may come up within board?
I think the main way to navigate conflict is to make sure that there's an open and safe space for everyone. So I want to provide that for any conflict that does arise. So, for example, I'm going to be outright. I did get. Actually, I'm not going to go into that, but any conflict that does arise. Sorry. Yeah, I hope to create an open and safe space for everyone so that if conflict does arise, it can be more straightforward and it can be resolved in a timely manner.
What do you hope to gain from serving in a leadership position?
Mainly what I hope to gain is experience. I really do value this community and I want to give back, which is the main reason why I ran in the first place, because I feel like it is a privilege to have a leadership position, and with so much family and support that this community has given me, I feel like I have a sort of obligation to run. So yeah.
Effective leadership in communication and logistics often requires the ability to adapt quickly when plans change unexpectedly. Could you share an example of where you had to pivot your strategy due to last-minute changes or unexpected issues? What leadership qualities did you rely on to guide your team through the transition, and how did you ensure that both communication and execution remained seamless?
I'm going to go back to my example for the leadership program where the tabling was kind of in conflict. So basically we had two projects that were essentially doing the same idea. So what we did was sort of conflict resolution where we had an open space and we talked about, our goals for each of our projects and how we could compromise. So I think that is really important in terms of making sure that last minute decisions aren't made with like haste or like anger towards each other, but rather adapting to the situations.
DCL is responsible for the newsletter sent out to membership. How will you communicate with your fellow e-board members to ensure the newsletter comes out in a timely manner and covers the information and announcements for each month?
The main thing is early communication, of course. I want to make sure that I'm always on top of things, so I'll probably email them weeks ahead for any things that they want included in the newsletter. And I really think the newsletter is an important part of Kasamahan because I feel like it's a more holistic view of Kasamahan, and it does bring up all the upcoming events that could happen, and I want to utilize that as a source and a resource for personalizing my role as DCL and also communicating everything that Kasamahan has to offer to all members.
in and of itself. We're here to support each other and help each other run this organization, and we work as a team. How do you intend to balance leaning on these members for help as you navigate a new role? And yeah, how do you intend to communicate with them to help you do your position?
Mainly being honest about what I need help with. I know that sometimes that does come with difficulty, like it is a struggle being able to ask for help. But really, I want to learn from them as much as I want to help them. So helping them would essentially, or them helping me would essentially help me help them. So yeah.
You mentioned a lot that you want to learn in this position. In what ways are you going to reach out to your fellow board members and to other people to learn and find the best way to be DC?
The main thing I want to do is communicate with the former DCL, of course, Felicity, to make sure I have all my roles and responsibilities correct, and I want to make sure that everything I'm doing seamlessly, and I want to learn from her, like the communication methods she's learned throughout her position, to make sure that I have close bonds with all committee members, board members, etc.
One last outside of communications and logistics and all of the responsibilities that you would have as DC, are there any other areas of the organization you want to be more involved in?
Like Jeremiah has said before, he wishes that there was more involvement in the finance committee, which is something I also want to be involved in, even if I am elected DCL. Since I am a business major, I think it would be helpful to me. And also, seeing that Jeremiah has struggled with putting everything on himself, I'd like to give him the space and the dedication to do that as well.
So those are all of the questions for DCL. Thank you so much.